Well, why don't we all get started? First and foremost, I'd like to thank each and every one of you, not only for being on this meeting, but joining the Westmont Park District Day Camp. My name is Bob Fleck. I'm the Executive Director. I wanted to welcome all of you and say thank you for trusting in us to let your kids come be a part of our day camp experience. It's important for them to get out. It's important for you to have them running around and socializing with other kids, and Veteran Park is a wonderful place to do it. This is where I grew up. I was in this park pretty much every day of my life since I can get on a bike, and I'm still around. So it's a wonderful place, and we're happy that you're participating and including your kids. Now, we all know this is a unique time. Things are operating a little bit differently than normal. We're adapting. We're ready for it. We are set up, ready to go. And we have a very capable individual that is going to be leading our day camp program. That's Rocco Giassi. He'll be running it, working with our counselors. And he's going to tell you all about the operations, the guidelines, and the rules that we've implemented, which are all part of the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, their guidelines for phase 3, which have been mandated to us by the governor's office. So again, thank you. We're happy to have your kids here. It's going to be a wonderful experience, and they're going to definitely enjoy themselves. So with that, why don't we go ahead, and Rocco, please take over.
Thank you so much, Bob. So as Bob said, my name is Rocco. I now oversee the summer day camp program. I started here December of 2018, overseeing the spray park and backstop and our theater program. And when Colin left, as many of you know, who was in charge last year, I then took over his position kind of like at the end of summer. I started with Kids Club, and then so this will be my first official summer overseeing camp. So I'm really excited to join camp and to run camp. I do have experience. I have ran it a little bit, and then I was a camp counselor myself. So I do know how to run at stuff like that. So just kind of if you guys don't know what camp is, we do provide daily activities for the kids enrolled, whether that be any physical activity, sports and games, arts and crafts. We work on a different on many things such as leadership, teamwork, cooperation, and still, even though with all these guidelines, we still want to incorporate those guidelines or what we kind of see fit in with our program. I've received a lot of emails, about, how we're going to run with all these guidelines and whatever. And, I just want you guys to know that we've been working hard as the Park District pretty much since, everything started to reopen and we started to get these guidelines. I've been working, along with, with Bob and, Dustin, who is a superintendent of rec. And we've been kind of trying to, see what we can do with the guidelines and everything. And I've also been working with our supervisors for camp, who are Katie and Cassidy. They've both been here, many years, so they know kind of like how camp works, and they've actually been helping me. So they've been an immense help to me. So just kind of going along with the guidelines and everything that we've kind of talked about, all these guidelines are on the website too. So if you do forget, kind of like what we said, also this is being recorded, so you can go ahead and see this at a later time. But basically, the main things that we wanted to kind of bring to your attention were, one of the big things was face coverings. We are requiring face coverings for day camp. However, the only times that they would have to wear them is when they are not able to be socially distant from other people. So, when they are doing an activity or a craft, we will try to have them spaced out where they don't need to wear it. I get it. It's uncomfortable for kids, and everything to wear it, and it could take a lot for them to wear it. So we are going to try to do our best to, still be protective, but also, so the kids are comfortable as well. Our staff will have to be wearing them too as well. So, it's not just the kids, that has to wear them and everything. Along with that, if they're doing any sort of physical activity, we will not require them to wear it. They say that, if you are participating in any activity, physical wise, you should not wear it, just for, breathing issues, to make sure, you're getting a full breath and everything with that. So, the only times we would really ask it, like I said, is if we can't follow those social distance guidelines, as well as when they're going to the bathroom, when they're walking, to and from, a different activity, and also when they're in our building. Our camp is based outside, but there may be sometimes we may have to enter the building. On those rain days, we do have the building that is available. We have been looking at other spaces where we can break up the kids into different places. We have our facility here, we have, the rooms 3 and 4, upstairs in our community center, as well as our kids club room. We have our gym, we have our dance studio, we have our senior lounge. So there's many places that we can go take the kids, if the weather, is bad, or if we need to be inside for whatever reason. The group sizes will be small. So the group sizes say that there is 10 people or 10 kids to a group for one counselor. So we are following that rule. We will have no more than 10 kids in a group with one counselor. There are some groups that may have, a couple less kids, but that just kind of depends on kind of like how many kids will sign up. So when the pickup and drop off procedure is going to be a little different this year. When you guys had come in the past, you guys would come, check in with the counselor, sign in with the counselor. So the way it's going to work this year is we're going to have everyone line up on the back side of the park. So that would be on Dallas Street. And we'll have pick up and drop off areas that you would go. There's going to be two different parts. So you'll drop off your kids in the morning. And then from there, we'll do the check-in from the car. Parents will stay in the car. The kids will then exit the car. When the kids exit the car, they will be temperature checked. So we will check their temperatures every day. We will keep a log. We will keep, it written down every day. The kids will be checked, and also our staff will be checked, and that includes myself as well. So we all will be checked every single day in the morning, staff before the shift, and kids when they come. We can check periodically throughout the day, just to kind of make sure that we are ensuring safety in our program. We want everyone to make sure that everyone's well and healthy so they can participate in the program for the duration of the summer.
Rocco?
Yes.
May I interject one thing on the drop-off? So everybody is consistent with this, and we want to do it the safest way possible. Always drop your kid parkside on the curb on Dallas Street. So that means you're going to be facing west towards Cass Avenue so that your child may exit the car into the park, not from the opposite side of the street. So that should be reiterated, and that way we never have a kid running across the street while other families are trying to move up and down the street and drop off their child.
And at those stations and checkpoints, we will have our supervisors, Katie and Cassidy, who will be there, and they will kind of be right by the car and making sure the kids come out of the car safely, so that way the parents, you don't have to exit your car, you can stay safe in your car. So we already have that worked out where Katie and Cassidy will definitely help with that, and I'll be right over there making sure everything runs smoothly. Another thing that we're kind of working on as well, and this was always kind of like an ongoing thing, but we're making sure we keep this up, is just hygiene, sanitation, cleanliness of the areas that we use. If you aren't familiar, we do have a camp garage that is on the corner of our property that we use, or on the park. And in there, it just has different craft activities and everything, that the kids will use. Every time something will be used after a person, it will be wiped down. It will be sanitized after. So all of the equipment that we use, all of the craft supplies and everything, we will be wiping them down. We will be limiting the use as well. So that way, that helps with the spread of, any illness. So with that, if someone does feel ill and someone does feel sick, we have a designated person as myself. I will kind of be in charge of if that person is sick. We will be removing them from that area just to making sure, everyone else stays, safe and healthy. And we do have a room up here. We are designating our rooms 1 and 2 up here as our isolation rooms. So if anyone does feel sick, staff and campers, we will kind of remove them, like I said, just to make sure everything is okay. We will do anything that is necessary in order, to make sure everyone is safe. Whether that be, calling the parents, asking them to pick up the kid, we will kind of evaluate, see what kind of happens, and then see if it's something that needs to be responded to, in a parent pickup, or, maybe the kid just might need a little break out of the sun. A couple questions kind of arise, like how would we know if it's, a high temperature, if it's just kind of like heat exhaustion or everything. I have been looking kind of like at, everything with, the signs and whatever. So we are also, the staff is CPR and first aid trained and certified. So we will, we do have people that, are, can kind of see the signs and everything for those different things. Along with that, though, even though the activities and everything will be limited, like I said, we do want to make sure that we are providing an experience and an environment that is enriching for the children. Unfortunately, we cannot go on any field trips or visit the pool, as a lot of the places that we would visit aren't open in this phase. And it is, we are unable to kind of meet those guidelines while we are still in this phase. Should we enter phase 4, that is something that we are definitely going to be looking at. Obviously, still making sure we follow those guidelines of, whatever that place we go to, whatever their guidelines are, and then our guidelines as well. Like I said, safety is one of our number one priorities. So we want to make sure that everyone, is safe. Also too, with that, pool activities, we won't be able to go to the pool, or we won't be able to do any sort of water activities. It is kind of unfortunate that we can't do anything, but we are trying to supplement different activities as we can. Same with the field trip. Should the pools open and should, they allow water activities, we will definitely, look into that. And that is one thing that, we want to make sure that the kids are still enjoying. So some of the activities that are planned, we still want to have some activities, like more field trip activities. So we have planned many different entertainers or different things kind of coming on, or coming with all of the entertainers, or with all of the people that will be coming. They will also be following our rules and our guidelines for everything. We want, like I said, we wanted to make sure that the kids are doing something. So even though they can't go any place, we still have planned to, bring things kind of here. All the people that I've talked to, they are well aware of our rules and guidelines, that they have to be socially distant, that they can't be by other groups and whatever, and they are perfectly, fine with that. They completely understand. Another thing, is that our playground is closed, and they will continue to be closed until at least phase 3. We are still unsure if they will be open, but as soon as they open, we will obviously err on the side of caution, but still, see if we can incorporate it at least a little bit into the daily activities.
Rocco, can I also add one comment? I know there's been some information out on social media nearby communities that our neighboring park districts have opened their playgrounds. We're not sure why they did that, because the Illinois Association of Park Districts confirmed yesterday afternoon that per the governor's office, playgrounds must remain closed. And we are following that and listening to the Illinois Association of Park Districts. We adhere to their guidance, their information, and as soon as we hear something different, we'll respond to that. But for now, contrary to what some neighbors have done, they're remaining closed. Rocco.
Yeah, so we are, looking for other activities to plan. One other big topic is kind of, this kind of goes along back with the face coverings is one of the times when they'd have to wear face coverings, like I said, is in the building and also when they're going to the bathroom. In the past, it's kind of been, they are able to kind of just go, kind of when they needed to. We will still be allowing that. As far as the bathroom is concerned, we do have maintenance crews and all of the staff, the counselor staff, that we will be here to also clean all the, as well as the equipment and everything, to clean all the facilities and to clean all the surfaces. And we will be monitoring that on pretty much an hourly basis, just making sure everything is clean, everyone is staying safe and everything. We do have, our plan is to have scheduled breaks during the day when the kid, in that the kids would, if they have to go to the bathroom, they can go to the bathroom, refill water bottles, have a snack, anything like that. We do have set times in the day to also limit the amount of people that are going into the building, or just into the bathroom in general. That is one thing, that we're working on as well. So kind of going, there was also a couple questions that came up, kind of like how phase 3 and 4 will kind of look. We still don't have the guidelines for phase 4, so we are unsure ourselves as to, how those guidelines would look. The only thing that I really know that's the difference is the amount of people that can be in an area. That number goes up to 50. Even then, I still am not comfortable letting, just 50 kids in an area. We're going to allow more, kids, to kind of like intermingle and socialize and everything, but we still kind of want to limit that just for safety reasons. So, moving on, as soon as we hear kind of like what is going on, what our plan of action for is, we will definitely be releasing that to you, whether that be on Facebook, whether that be on our website, on our website under camps. That information will be getting, out to you. Everyone who signed up will be getting an email about everything. So, our plan is to still kind of like keep you guys in the loop, so you guys know kind of like, what's going on in the next phase. I also mentioned like activities and, field trips and such, hopefully by then we'd be able to do, more activities, maybe more outside activities, like going to the zoo, stuff that's outside, going to different parks and everything. That way the kids can kind of like, get out from this area, or this park and kind of like explore different parts of, the towns surrounding us. Bob, was there anything else that I didn't add that you thought that we should add?
No, I think you've covered everything you've got on the list. You did an excellent job of conveying the information. If you're ready to open it up to questions, by all means.
If you guys can, just kind of like raise your hand just so I know, or if you guys some of you don't have video, if you guys can just like unmute yourself and just say kind of who you are, just so I kind of know who's talking, please.
How do you raise a hand?
You can just go ahead and
Wave.
This is Mary Ramirez. I just have a question. You said face coverings. Do we need to supply face coverings for our children, or will you supply face coverings?
So it will be encouraged if you guys can bring your own face coverings. However, we will have face coverings that will be supplied. We do have the disposable ones that we are working on getting, so we do have them. If you do not have any of the reusable ones, or the whatever they're called, we'll definitely be supplying them.
Okay, and how does it work? My husband might walk down to get my children. He will be driving. Is that possible to do for
Um,
pickup?
yes, we can work that out. If you want to go ahead and just email me, we can go ahead and work that out somehow.
And then last question, sorry, the forms. Will you be sending out forms for emergency pickup, or will you pass them out the first day, or should we print them out and bring them?
So those are on the website. If you guys want to, you guys can go see them on the website. My plan also was everyone that would be on, I was going to email the forms. We've been working on updating the forms. There's some information that at this moment isn't, quite necessary. So we are working on, on trying to update those forms and everything. So those updated forms, like I said, are on the website, or I will go ahead and be sending out an email.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
This is Andriana McDowell. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I was wondering, will there be disclosure if a participating kid becomes ill to other parents so that we know to monitor our own kids or be aware?
Yes, disclosure will be had. However, we cannot disclose obviously the name just for, security reasons, but we will kind of let everyone know if something is, really severe, if something, does, get out, we will be, kind of letting everyone know. We most likely that'll be by email. That's just probably the easiest way to reach a lot of people. So, by email, everyone will, all the parents that are signed up will know.
And in addition to that, the guidelines that we have posted on the website have very clear instructions on what the state and the CDC recommend if there was ever any type of exposure, whether it was immediate exposure or 2 or 3 persons removed.
Mrs. Frisbee?
Yes, I had a question about lunches, and I noticed that one email said paper bags for disposal reasons, and another was okay with reusable stuff. Are they allowed to use the reusable stuff, and can they bring their own water bottles?
So yes, so they can bring their own. I do apologize that I can go back and update that information. I do apologize that was kind of, contradicting. Yes, they can bring their own water bottles and they can bring their own lunch boxes. We just ask that they go ahead and just make sure everything is labeled. Everything kind of like stays with them, stays in their backpacks. They'll have, if they bring backpacks, we're, also asking to kind of limit the amount of items that they bring. I know, kids in the past may have liked to bring toys. We're kind of, hoping to limit the amount that they bring, and only the essentials, water bottle, snacks, lunch, sunscreen, stuff like that. But that's something that's definitely, they can bring, reusable water bottles, reusable lunch bags. Obviously we just ask that they, clean up, and the counselors will make sure that everything is clean and everything is, that everything is.
Okay, and then do you want them to bring their own personal hand sanitizer?
We will have some provided. However, if you feel like you need, or that, they want to bring your own, I know whether that be some people might have allergies or anything like that, just sensitive skin, if they have their, if they have one. But if you guys want to bring it, you guys definitely can, but some will be provided as well.
Thank you.
No problem. Alvarez?
I'm Lisa Bogus, but yeah, it's Manuel Alvarez.
Oh,
What does a typical day look like activity-wise? Because there's so many things they're not able to do that they have in the past. So what can they do? What are they going to be doing?
So that is one thing that, our staff is still trying, to look at, different options and everything. I know I was kind of like looking at the different activities and whatever, and it's kind of hard to, kind of change it with some activities. We still did find some. However, there are ways that we are kind of like, whatever activity is planned, that we are kind of like working around it. So, whether that be, I was just thinking of like some, little activities that involve no touching, Mother May I, you know, red light, green light, you know, and any sort of tag activities. We do have flag football belts, so to try to limit the contact towards other people. And same thing with that, after every use, those will be completely wiped down. Those will be sanitized, so that way, you know, we're not, you know, transmitting any sort of any sort of sickness, any sort of, you know, germs or whatever. But yeah, so as far as the, you know, all the activities, we are still looking to plan. However, we do have a good list going of activities that, you know, that we can do kind of like to get around and to making sure, you know, the kids can still participate in the games that they like.
We're also, obviously, we need to keep as much of this outside as possible. You know, a lot more old-fashioned games, kickball, wiffle ball, obviously arts and crafts, and different things that are going to be happening out in the park. But we're also going to have spaces inside for them as well. So the gym is available to them. And one of the things we just talked about yesterday is the senior lounge. You know, if the day's excessively hot or there's rain, that is going to become kind of the movie space. We've taken it over. So seniors are going to be the last program or the last type of programs to come back to the park district. So we've shanghaied that space, so to speak, and it is now available to day camp, and we're going to make it a little more comfortable for them in the next couple days, get some of the big bulky office type conference room chairs and tables out of there and make sure it's kid friendly.
How many kids do you have enrolled in the program right now?
So for the first week, we have 29, I believe, kids enrolled that we are splitting up into 3 groups. So, you know, like I said earlier, we are still, we're going to keep under that, 10 and under rule. Even when we do go into the next phase, we are still going to keep that on, under that rule, to see if, we can possibly bring it up smaller if needed, but we are looking at, 10 people in a group with 1 counselor.
How will you, the 10 kids in a group, will they be paired by the same age? Are you going to do a variety of ages in a group?
So we are kind of keeping similar ages. So I know for the first week at least, it's going to be kind of 6 and 7s are kind of go together just because we didn't have a full group in one age group, and then we have other groups. Like the 8s are going to be paired with like the 9s, and then if you're enrolled in our Camp Operation Fund, they're going to kind of make one group, just because they're all around the same age. So we're keeping it kind of like around the same age. One of the rules for Phase 3 was that we can't intermix. So that was basically one of the reasons, or one of the main reasons that we weren't able to provide the before and after care, just because with this we can't intermix, we can't intermingle. So pretty much the kids will be with their group the entire day. With those groups, they're if they ever do intermingle, it will be from afar, kind of like from one side of the field just to the other, just because we want to keep everyone kind of like in the same group and everything.
Rocco, I saw a question come through from Angela Frisbee. She asked, can we separate siblings? Are they similar in age, or are they apart?
They're 1's 7, 1's 9, but I just want to make sure that they're separated because this is the reason why we're doing the camp. Oh. I'm sure the parents can relate, but I really need them separated.
Well, Angela, I sympathize and I understand that because I grew up with 7 brothers and sisters, all 9 years apart. So I know what that's all about. Rocco, I don't know how you're dividing the registrants, but I don't see why we couldn't if that is a request, but if the ages work out, hopefully it does.
Yeah, we are, but yeah, what Bob just said, if we're able to, do it by age, it will be kind of easier. I know sometimes, if you have twins or if you have, kids that are a year apart, they may be in the same group. But I will, that's one thing too that, you know, have kind of told my counselors is, you know, especially, you know, sometimes the siblings, maybe, you know, the worst, not, I don't want to say the worst, but just, you know, they may, you know, just have sibling rivalry throughout the group or whatever. So, you know, just making sure that, you know, they're, you know, everyone's kind of getting along, that, you know, each, you know, sibling is kind of, you know, has their own kind of people that they're, you know, that they can kind of talk to. So, you know, I will definitely try to make sure that, you know, that will happen for the duration of the summer.
Would you be willing to take requests if I have the opposite issue? I'd rather keep them together to decrease the amount of exposure with multiple different groups to bring germs back home. So would you guys be willing to take requests if wanting to request the same group for siblings?
That would be something that I can definitely, yes, look into. The only thing that we were kind of thinking was just, you know, depending on the kids' ages is also developmental and like just the activities that we have planned. You know, and that's something that we can work out whether, you know, the youngest wants to go with the oldest, if the oldest wants to go with the youngest. So if there is an issue, or if you know, you would like to keep your kids separated, you would like to keep your kids, you know, together. That's one thing that you can definitely email me, you know, on, and we will, you know, kind of work that out, see if there's a way that we can work that out for sure.
My kids want to know if Gaga Ball is still open or will it be closed?
We are looking to possibly keep it open. However, you know, if there is kind of issues, or, you know, if we do see, you know, things happen, we will be closing. You know, we will not be allowing it maybe for like a little bit, but we are looking at, you know, that could be something that we're able to work into our.
I think as long as the kids wear their face mask while playing it, I think we could allow that, definitely.
Boex?
Sorry, I had to laugh. It's Vokes.
Oh,
And that's
sorry.
last name. I'm not even gonna go to mine. So we'll leave it at that. Anyway, somebody put a question on the chat, so I'm actually reading something from Aggie Ryan about whether the current price reflects full time and 2 field trips they probably won't take. So the price is, I mean, the price is what it is, regardless of the activities, right?
Yes, so we did decide to keep the price, but with that, you know, kind of like what I said, we are looking at activity, you know, still offering, you know, something that they'd be able, you know, to kind of do, whether, you know, that be activities planned. Our newsletter will go out every Friday. It will be emailed out to the participants who are enrolled in that next session. And in that, you will see the activities and everything that we have planned for that next week. So, you know, yes, the price, you know, did not go up or down, but we are still looking at providing, you know, entertainment or some sort of activity in place of those field trips.
And we are hoping when we get to phase 4 that we can incorporate some field trips and some other opportunities.
Sure, and that's fine. I mean, when you bring it down to per hour, you're still cheaper than a sitter. So I'm okay with this. And I have 1 kid and he's 8, so he needs to be with other kids. But my question is, and I see some names that I recognize here, that I know that people with kids, my kids' age, but if they don't start next week in the group, then if they join the camp later on, those kids are not gonna be able to be in the same group as my kid. Is that correct? You will be creating new groups with the newer kids? Or how is that gonna work out?
So we will, yes, we will be trying to create new groups with the kids to lessen the transmission of anything. So, you know, so the groups that kind of that will be assigned for this first week will kind of be assigned, you know, for the first couple weeks, just to kind of make sure that, you know, everything is okay. And then once we get more involved, you know, and more kids will be enrolled in that camp, more kids will kind of, you know, more kids will be involved and be able to, you know, interact with different kids. So for the first couple of weeks, yes, they will be in their primary, you know, groups, and then every newcomer will be added to a different group.
Right.
And
Thank you.
understand if phase 4 does allow for, as Rocco said, more interaction, we'll incorporate that. But for us, how this has worked with every step and every stage, we don't know what the rules are till literally a couple days before that next phase opens up. So
Yeah.
as much as we're trying to be proactive, this has been very much a reactive exercise for the
Right.
last number of months.
We understand. Thank you. Is there a snack as well? Do we do snack and lunch, or is it just lunch?
Yeah, so if they want to, the kids can bring snacks in those break times that I was saying earlier, about the bathrooms and everything. We will, offer a snack. So if the kids, do bring a snack, they're more than welcome to eat them. During that times, we obviously just ask that it's kind of, a lighter snack, just so, they're able to eat the lunch and whatever. And that way, if they're running around, they don't get sick or anything.
Sounds good. Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions? If you guys have any other questions of how the next couple of weeks are going to work, please do not hesitate to reach out. Probably the best way to reach out would be email, just because I'm able to respond. If you guys do call and leave me a voicemail, I will be responding to that. So any way that you prefer, you can definitely go ahead and reach out to me regarding anything summer camp. So if there's nothing else that anyone has any questions for, I want to say thank you for taking the time and coming on here. And I hope you guys got valuable information, and I hope all your questions were answered, with how summer camp is going to run. So I appreciate it, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your night.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you.
Thank you for choosing the Westmont Park District.
Thank you.